All right, so today we have Daniel and Adam with Rail My Deck. You guys are local here in Melbourne, I take it, huh?
Yes, we are. Recently, though, but we are.
Recently. So tell us a little bit about, because this is a brand new business for you guys, correct?
It is a brand new business over here in Melbourne, in Brevard. I've been doing this for 15 years up in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just moved here, I'd like to say a month ago.
Oh, so they came pretty much right around the same time we got here.
Yeah.
And we've got your son over here, and you guys are known as the Kilt Crew.
Yeah. So, yes. So we are known as the Kilt Crew, exactly.
You can't really see it on camera, but we'll have to post we'll add some photos in. You guys are wearing kilts right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We are. Yeah.
So what's the heritage? What's the background?
I've got a little bit of Irish heritage in me.
Okay.
But the kilt comes from my background as a military. So this is Black Watch. I was in the Canadian Army, part of the Black Watch Regiment. So
say that again. What type of army was it?
it's the Canadian Army.
Oh, Canadian Army.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Black Watch Regiment.
Okay.
So yep.
That you saw some interesting things, I would imagine.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's not nice to be doing something different.
It is. It is.
And how about you? What's you just came over here, and is this your first time getting into the industry?
Well, I used to work in a metal shop, metal construction, welding and everything, so I was a fabricator for this.
You've got a very stern voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought him on board. The reason why is because I like the fact that he's got something that I don't. So what he used to do. Yeah,
he's got
hair.
Mainly.
Hair, mainly, yeah. But no, he's more of an outside of the box thinker. So whenever we have an application or an installation that demands a special part, let's say.
Okay.
Depending on if we have to go around an obstacle or something like that, he could figure it out and he could fabricate the part that we need.
So do you guys mostly work on decks? Is it decks that you guys build, or is that just something part of the name?
Lately, it's been mostly fencing. Actually,
we started off by doing decking and railing, and so the more we go, the more there's demand for fencing. So we said, you know what, why not? So it looks like that's where the money is. But I like to concentrate on the railing aspect, but fencing is something that we offer as well.
So so you guys came to Brevard, Melbourne. When you moved here from Canada, was this the plan to kind of start doing this? Like, why'd you pick Melbourne of all places?
Okay, well, we didn't pick Melbourne. Melbourne picked us, really. I mean, because at first we were looking at Fort Lauderdale, then Fort Lauderdale became Sawgrass, then Sawgrass became West Palm Beach, and then Vero. And the real estate agent that we were working with basically told us, she goes, you know what? She goes, there's a deal that's happening right now, and it's in Melbourne in a gated community. And I bought the house, and we didn't even see it.
So sight unseen.
Sight unseen. Yeah.
That's got. We moved here on a whim too. We didn't really see the house, and but we moved from Palm Beach County, so it wasn't quite a drastic as a hike from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just knew we wanted to be here, and if we're gonna flip the house, we will. But we just wanted to set foot down.
Is that the plan? Are you guys gonna flip it, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet.
Depends what the market does.
I don't know yet, because I kind of like where I am right now.
It's a good area. It's a nice place.
And the neighbors are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gary's a cool guy.
Gary? Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary, my next door neighbor.
Where are you guys at? What part? Like what area?
We're well, are you familiar with Florida Tech? You know where the stadium is, the Pirates?
Are we familiar with Florida Tech?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shelley says we are. So
there you go. So, okay, so if Shelley says, then yeah. So actually, we're close to Melbourne, West Melbourne, and Palm Bay.
Okay. So like a little bit of everything in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
Close to everything, really.
Yeah.
So what's been the biggest struggle so far? It's a new business. You guys got your Facebook page, which we're going to jump to in a second.
Yeah.
But what's been the biggest struggle launching a business? I mean, you're wearing kilts. That must bring some attention.
Yeah. So actually, it's got nothing to do with the business itself. Is moving out of Canada to come over here. That's been the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, you know, politics are involved in that, obviously. I mean, you see what's going on around the countries, and Canada's not making it easy for us. I mean, they're not making it easy for us. So I like to say that we're leaving a communist regime up in Canada. I mean, that's what it's.
Mostly a dictatorship, almost.
Yeah,
Is it that bad now, huh?
yeah.
it's pretty awful.
Everybody says Canada healthcare, go to Canada. So it's
well, okay.
big
so
misconception.
let's set, and it's fun that I have a microphone to speak it out because I want to set the record straight on that. Canada does not have free healthcare.
Okay.
Everybody likes to think that. Even Canadians like to think that, and they like to brag about it. But what they don't tell you is that the tax bracket is 48%. So on every paycheck that you make, 48% of it goes to the government in taxes. On top of that, we pay 16% taxes on everything that we buy. Food, baby formula, diapers, clothes, anything we buy, 16%. On top of that, license plates for your cars and your driver's license every year. Like a driver's license is $200 a year.
wow.
You know, license plate for a motorcycle is $860 a year.
What?
Yeah. So, you know what? You could brag. You could talk about your free healthcare until you're blue in the face, but it's
So they pad everything in so drastically
Right.
that the free healthcare is not
Exactly.
really free.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Yep, that's
Oh.
it.
And how old are you?
I'm 25.
25. So you went to school there,
Yeah.
graduated.
Yeah.
Are you doing any schooling here?
Nope.
Okay,
Just focusing on the business and doing my own music also.
Oh, you do music.
Yeah,
He's a
I'm
musician.
Ah, what
Yes.
vocalist?
Vocals, guitar, drums.
Okay.
Bass,
What type of music?
metal.
Metal.
Mostly, yeah.
Hence
Okay.
the hair, right?
Yeah. Goes well with it.
So we'll have to get some samples there and release it with this.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda send people over. You must have some social media for this stuff, right?
Actually, I had a band back in Canada,
Okay.
and since I moved here, that kind of dissipated. Now I'm still slowly starting to form my own thing over here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Ah, very cool,
Get a
man.
little-
So coming over here now, what's your status? Are you guys U.S. or
So-
you dual? Where
Yeah.
do you guys fall in that situation?
Well, we're kind of sitting in between two chairs. So the way it works is for us to be over here, opening up a business, investing money and whatnot. That's called an E2 visa. So we're working towards the E2 visa. Now the way the E2 visa works is kind of weird because it's the only visa that requires you to work illegally before you could start being legal.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like right now, but so I shouldn't have said that, but it's
Man, we will edit that out for you, good sir.
yeah. So
Zoom in.
Yeah.
So the way this visa works is that you need to start operating the business, show that the business is viable before they could issue your visa.
Okay.
So they need to see movement in your bank account, contracts coming in, money being spent, and they like to see all that stuff before they issue the visa.
So if before you came over here, if you were like, hey, we're just going to go to the United States and figure it out, did you have to come over with a plan?
Yeah. No, it's all. I mean, the company has been registered. We've got the LLC and the C Corps and going on like that since April, but we only came here in May.
How does credit work when it comes to like buying a house and stuff? Being that you guys were Canadian citizens, is it the same lending borrowing power?
It's very different. I mean, we were fortunate enough that when we moved out of Canada, we sold our equity over there. We sold our house, we sold everything, and we were able to come here and purchase the house cash.
Okay.
So we didn't have to deal with that yet.
Would that have made it more difficult if you had to actually get a loan?
Well, there's
Probably.
certain banks that do offer cross-border mortgages.
Okay.
So we would have to deal with one of those.
Okay.
But
Options would have been limited though.
yeah,
Okay.
there was, if you look at banks that offer the cross-border stuff, there's maybe 3 or 4, and that's about it. So all of the American institutions, Truist and Case and Bank of America, those are all players that are out of the picture for that.
Okay.
So it's all Canadian banks that have branches over here in the U.S.
Who's our biggest Canadian bank that we would know about over here?
Maybe TD.
I was gonna say I think TD Bank, right?
Yeah.
Because I know they're an international bank.
Right. But TD stands for Toronto Dominion.
Right.
Right. So TD would probably be the one.
Who do you guys bank with?
Well, we right now all of our banking is done with Bank of America.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to open up accounts no problem.
Right.
So you got here a month ago ish.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get your first job?
Actually, I was fortunate enough to have all of my contacts established before moving here. So I used to work for a company called Oldcastle. So Oldcastle is a company that owns 17 businesses that have to do with the manufacturing and distribution of building material. So I was a sales manager, a Canadian sales manager for that company. And when I moved here, my colleagues, people that were working with me, that were overlooking the area of Florida and whatnot, I stayed in touch with. So those were, I was able to get some contacts through them. And so when we moved here, it took us, I'd say maybe 2 weeks before getting our first job. But
Okay.
we had been quoting on jobs before coming here.
And now you guys are staying busy?
Yeah, we are busy.
Okay.
We are busy.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, for being here 1 month, you guys are hitting the ground running. You're busy making money.
Oh, yeah, it's picking up quickly.
It is. It is. Surprisingly enough, we're under a good star right now.
Where did the idea of the kilts come from? Whose idea was it to wear kilts on the job?
It was, well, let's start with the name of the company. And the name of the company, Rail My Deck, that's his brainchild. Like
I'm pretty proud of it.
So
It's a great name.
So we were at home one day, and I told him, I go, okay, so in order for us to get our visas, we need to open up a company. And I was thinking of doing the same thing that I'm doing here, but we need to find a name that expresses what we do, but I don't want it to be too stern and too like squarish. It's got to be funny.
So it popped into my head right away.
So he's looking at me, he goes, I've got something, but I don't think you're going to like it because it sounds kind of dirty. So I go, try me. And he goes, Rail My Deck. And I go, okay, well, that's it. Rail My Deck.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, what do? We put railings on decking.
Yeah,
so
I
we rail
mean,
decks.
it's a very, very descriptive. Like
There you go, right?
when you hear the name, you don't wonder if you guys are like chefs or something. It's very clear what
That's
you
it,
guys.
you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of the kind of concept of what we do here is we want to show people that are, because a lot of people out there thinking about starting a business, they don't really know where to start, and hardships and failures. And you've been in this industry for how long right now?
15 going on 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a newer endeavor for
This
you.
is pretty much new for me. Like I said before, I'm more of a fabricator.
Okay.
I'm more of a hands-on guy, quality and all that stuff. He's the one with all the salesman experience and everything.
So you get to learn a little from his
That's it.
trials and
Yeah.
errors and kind of picking up.
Yeah, that's it. He's been through it all.
So moving here, I from what I understand, there was some issues that happened in your family where you guys lost a loved one. And this is your mother, I'm assuming, and your wife.
Yeah, actually yesterday was their second anniversary of her passing.
Oh, and my condolences to your wife. What's your wife's name?
Antoinette.
Antoinette.
Yep.
Antoinette. So I appreciate you being able to come on here and share that story. So losing your wife, do you mind talking about that at all?
No,
like,
sure.
so what happened? What was the issues there? Was it
Well,
expected, unexpected?
It's really, I mean, you know, when you're faced with that situation, you're always hoping for the best, but you're prepared for the worst type of thing. So it's not that it was expected, not expected, or she was diagnosed with cancer 6 years before her passing.
Okay.
So she's been, and I'm not going to say she was battling cancer because to me that's bogus, but she's been living with cancer for 6 years, and then she passed, right?
Did it go downhill fast when it?
Actually, she was doing good for most of the time, but the last month
2 months about.
was, but really where we really saw like a downward spin was the last week. The last week was like,
Wow.
yeah.
I imagine that must have been really hard because you were, 22, 21 at the time?
23.
You have any brothers or siblings?
My sister, yeah.
Okay. She's here too?
No, she's gonna be here in August.
Okay.
Actually, I was on the phone with her today. She's back in Montreal. Last week or 2 weeks ago, she was in London. She was on
2
vacation
weeks
in
ago.
London. So she's back in Montreal now. She's taking care of a few things, and she's going to be down here with us in August.
She going to join the family business?
Maybe not now,
Okay.
but we'll see. Maybe eventually, yeah.
So your wife passing and your mom passing, did that play any role in you guys coming to Florida or the United States to Florida?
A huge role, because it comes to a point where the house doesn't become a house anymore. It becomes more of a, like, the house is not a home anymore. It's an empty shell.
It loses its meaning and everything. The
Right.
whole family vibe was just not there anymore without her.
That house was built by me on a piece of land that she chose.
Wow.
So, yeah,
How long were you guys together / married?
26 years.
Wow, it's a
Yeah.
long. That's a lifetime.
So 26 years together, and the last 4 years of her life, we were married.
But
So, yeah.
whole 26 years basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for you, obviously we could sit here and talk about how all of the horrible things that are associated to that, but what lessons and benefits and what would you say positive has come from her, departing? Mindsets, things you guys wouldn't have done. What are some of those?
Well, sorry. Us moving to Florida has everything to do with that. When she passed, we were talking together and saying, you know what, like, there's more to life than just staying here.
Yeah, that's what I learned from her.
And,
Towards the end, she made it clear to me and made me understand that just to go for it.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk to your mom before she passed while she was not doing well about coming to the United States after? Was there
Actually, while she was alive in 2018, we met with a real estate agent, and we were looking at houses in Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
So
there was a plan.
There was plan of coming to the States, yes.
That foreshadowing, you can say.
Right. So was that going to be a temporary move or a permanent move? We did not think of that at the moment, but we did meet with a real estate agent. We did visit some houses. So that was already discussed. But moving to Florida on a permanent basis, that was not talked about, no.
What would your mom think about the name Rail My Deck if you had ran that scenario by her?
I think she would find it pretty funny.
She'd dig it?
She would find it clever, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So mom had a sense of humor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing that
I used to mess with her all the time.
like she
All
was
the time.
What type of cancer did she have?
breast cancer.
Breast cancer, okay.
So the breast cancer, so funny thing, talking about a sense of humor. So we're there with the doctor, and he does a biopsy, and the doctor tells her, he goes, okay, so we're going to remove the mass, and you're going to be fine. You're going to keep on paying your taxes, and everything's going to be cool.
She was just like, take them off.
Yeah.
Just take them off.
And so she tells the doctor, she goes, no. She goes, you're going to remove the two breasts and you're going to put implants. And so the doctor goes, I think that's way too drastic for what you have. And so my wife looked at the doctor, and in her voice, she goes, yes, but I've breastfed my kids and I'm done now. And now I want him to have brand new toys to play with. So the doctor goes, okay, well, we're going to do it. And funny enough, when he was done with the procedure, when she woke up, he told her, your call was better than mine because you started to have calcification in the other breast. So we had to do it. So
isn't it crazy how those things, like, sometimes there's no way to know, that these issues exist without doing something that's completely out of the norm.
And it could have been part of her intuition also,
Yeah, exactly. It was the way she lived her life was, I'm not sad that she's gone. I'm very, very privileged that I got to know her. So the fact that she's not here today to see this kind of, puts a damper on things, but it's all good.
You guys seem like you're in good spirits. You seem...
Oh, yeah, big time. I would say, like, the best spirits we've ever been in, honestly.
You know what?
Moving here.
The best decision that I've done in my life was to marry my wife. The second best decision was to move over here. Because, the quality of living over here in Florida is by far much better than what we've lived up north. Just the way, the spirit of the people here is a lot better. I mean, I'm looking at like we go to our favorite watering hole, which is Lou's Blues. And
Lou's Blue, Shelly. Write that down. We're a watering hole fanatics.
That's our favorite watering hole. And just like you have live music, and you've got people on the dance floor that ages from 20 to 70 years old, and everybody's having a great time. We're not used to this. So when we saw this, we were looking at each other like, okay, so like, are we in the twilight zone right now? Like, what's going on? Like, we're not used to that, you know? And people that are approaching us are nice to us, and they're not jackasses like what we used to in Quebec. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing. And a friend of mine that lives in Fort Lauderdale was telling me, her name is Nadine. She was telling me, she goes, you know what? She goes, old people in Florida are still young.
It depends where you live in Florida, because we came from the South Florida side, and it seems like here in Melbourne, people are much nicer. Brevard County, Space Coast area,
right?
Palm Beach County, because here in Melbourne, this part, it seems like everybody that's here more or less is from Florida. When you get into like South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, it's very rare to meet somebody that's from there. They're from New York, you know.
Right.
I would never guess you guys are from. Where's your accent?
My accent is just Canadian.
That's just a Canadian accent.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, people have been telling me that they notice my accent, and
because I don't hear from your dad.
It.
Your dad just is just kind of scary.
He's assimilating better.
He's just scary looking.
Yeah, that's it. He just looks like a lumberjack, you know.
Like if the carpentry thing doesn't pay out, if somebody owes somebody money, you could probably be a collector and do pretty well.
Hey, why not?
He's like, that's my
$20 is $20, right?
$20. All right, we got a deal here.
So, but it's funny that you say that, because everybody that I've been talking to all tell me the same thing. You've got an accent. You've got an accent. I go, well, I don't hear it, right? So
yours very faint. His is pretty.
Mine might be a little mix. Maybe that Italian part in me.
Could
be. I'm a bit of a wop. I could say it.
My wife was Italian.
Yeah.
So he can say it. He's got the Italian in him. Not me.
I got that card.
This is going to be great. I can't wait to launch this video. All right, so you guys got here. You launched your business. What was the hardest thing about starting the business here? I know you've been doing this industry,
right?
But what were some of the unknowns? Were you like, was there any fear of? You had the little cushion. You sold your belongings, but still, you know, you don't want to just start a business to say I have a business. You seem like somebody that wants to make it work,
right?
What's that been like?
Okay, so for sure there's the unknown, like all the legalities and the permits and whatnot. And like all of this, it's to learning the machine of how this all works. And it's not that complicated compared to what we are used to up north.
Yeah, compared to it. That's what I would say also, is that the legality and the rules and the laws, that side of it was actually a lot simpler than back up in Quebec.
Like, you know, like so we've got a team of attorneys that's working on the visas and the applications and whatnot. But I mean, to go through the process of asking for the E2 visa, like the lawyers were explaining to me what they need to do, and I'm sitting there and I go, okay, and then what's next? And then what's next? And they go, well, that's it. I go, okay, so if you want to put up a fence in Quebec, let's say, where I was, so before you start anything, you need to have a geologist that comes and study the ground where you're going to be working on, in case there's, I don't know, turtles or whatever, you know,
bodies on the ground, a burial ground, something.
Happen, you know, but
so anybody that wants to do anything has to have a geologist come out, or is that extra precautions you take?
That's extra precautions we take, and the reason why we do that, it's because it happened in the past where we didn't do that, and we had to dig holes to put down posts for the fencing, and we got stopped in the middle of work. The reason why is because 200 yards away, they were doing some digging and they found some archaeological site. And so we had to stop everything. So now, every time we do something, you got to take precautions, right? Or else you're going to be stopped. There's going to be penalties. And the thing is that in Quebec, there's no such thing as a warning that they issue you when you're in construction. So if you have a worker that works on a job site, and I'll give you an example. I was involved in general construction aside from the business that I was operating, right? So I'm working on this job site, and this is a true story, by the way. I'm working on this job site.
I would hope so.
Yeah. And there's this guy that's putting up ceramic, putting up tiles in one of the condos. It's a 6-unit condo building, and it's raining. It's pouring cats and dogs. So you've got the guy that does the siding that's on the job, and he's got nothing to do because it's raining so hard. So he tells the ceramic guy, he goes, okay, I'm going to give you a hand, bring those ceramic boxes up onto the 3rd floor. So there's an inspector that passed, and he goes, okay, so do you have your cards to do ceramic? He goes, I'm not doing ceramic, I'm just carrying boxes. He goes, because you don't have your ceramic installer's card, I'm going to have to fine you.
Wow.
$1,500.
Wow.
And he seized his tools.
Seized his tools?
Yeah.
Right there on the spot?
Right there on the spot.
Wow.
Not, okay, look, I'm giving you a warning, don't do that because, no. It's like that, automatic.
Do you find it's more laid back, relaxed here?
Of course.
Do they even come out and has anybody come out on a site yet while you guys are working?
No.
Have you guys done all, has it been commercial or
residential?
Residential? Okay.
Yeah, residential. But no, I mean, and the funny thing is, it's just the overall mentality of everything over here that's a lot different. So we were talking about this yesterday, and it's got nothing to do with construction or anything, but in Quebec, if you're driving on the street and there's a cop behind you,
Yeah, that's one thing also.
for sure, the first thing that comes to mind is you're nervous.
You're going to tighten up. You're going to start squeezing that wheel and
Because
everything.
you know he's going to pull you over for no reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. Why? But you are conditioned to that because it feels like every step of the way, every branch of the government is out there to get you something.
Just a money grab.
It's a money grab.
I feel that way. That's only because I spent half my life as a criminal with no license, and I was getting pulled over. So even now, as a common guy paying taxes, when the cops are behind me, it's still nerve wracking. I still feel like I'm supposed to run.
Right.
Well, that's it. In Canada, you could have a clean slate on anything, and you'll still feel that same amount of stress. You won't feel like you're protected or you're safe or anything.
I'm not allowed in Canada because with somebody that's
You don't want to go anywhere.
convicted felons, I guess, can't go to Canada.
Right. Well, you don't want to go anyways.
Yeah.
I just don't like the fact that I'm not allowed to go.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can get in? Can you guys get me in?
We could smuggle you in.
Smuggle me in?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we could find a way.
We're probably not going to do that, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
But now you guys are allowed to go to Cuba, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh
right?
boy, can't wait to go to Cuba. Woo! So the legality
That's
part
where
of
Trudeau
it?
comes from, by the way.
That's where what?
Trudeau comes from.
Trudeau,
Oh, now we're gonna go into that.
Trudeau's our prime minister up in Canada.
and he's from there.
Well,
Son of Castro.
Have you looked at pictures? The
Oh,
guy's a spitting image of Castro.
I love this guy. I think he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
He's an idiot.
You explained the technical side of getting into the business, but when you got here, you're the sales guy. You're the
I'm quality control, day-to-day communications online.
Is it just you two, or do you guys have
Well, we've got someone that takes care of all the marketing, the online marketing, and
Who's that?
the image aspect. Cynthia.
That's okay. So Cynthia, who put us together?
That's right.
Cynthia, thank you very much once again. Cynthia's been sending me people.
Cynthia's awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Cynthia's
She's on the
awesome.
ball.
But yeah, so she's doing all of your marketing, and it's been effective. You guys
Yeah.
have gotten return from this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. She's working really, really hard. She does a lot of she does a lot of the footwork. She's like a lot of referencing and putting us in contact with key people.
Are you guys part of like the
yourself.
chamber, or are you getting involved with these things?
I'm thinking about it. Do I want to join the chamber? I mean, maybe, but I mean, I'm on the fence.
I like that. There you go.
Yeah.
I think things like the chamber, even for me, it's not like I'm going to get clients from the chamber.
No, I think
but it could be an introduction to this person, introduces you to this person.
Could we be frank on this for a second?
Who's Frank? Go ahead.
Okay, so events for the chamber. This is what I've experienced from my past life, and maybe it's different over here. I hope so, but I don't know. But up in Canada, up in Quebec, every event that I've been to with the Chamber of Commerce, it was always an occasion to get hammered and to do empty promises.
Yeah. It's the same here.
You know, so do I want to give my money to an organization like that?
I think most people though that engage in it, they don't. The thing is like I could give you all the tools in the world, and unless you're willing to utilize the tools, they're completely fucking useless.
Right.
But I feel like the chamber probably has a purpose, but it's going to be like you said. They bank on getting people in to go to the parties. I'm thinking about doing it just to see who I can meet.
And you're gonna have people that, yeah, they have a very successful business, but the story behind it, it's like,
Yeah, you got to stand out some way.
pretty boring, man.
I think that's kind of the cool thing that people are going to relate to you guys is father and son. You kind of went through some tragic stuff. You lost your wife, lost your mother. I'm assuming she was your best friend. You guys were together for a long time. Only took you 20 some odd years to marry the woman, but nonetheless.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with a test drive.
I know. We're going on almost 2 decades, and we haven't pulled the trigger yet. So
Waiting for.
I'm following your footsteps.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Too soon. Sorry.
But I'll tell you something else that might that people might relate to. We had a discussion about this, and I'm in contact with the folks from Tunnel to Tower. I don't know if you're aware of this. Tunnel to Tower is a foundation where what they do is they build. This is pretty awesome. Now check this out. They build smart homes for people that came back from combat.
Oh, like so it's
wounded
like
warrior.
military.
Yeah,
Or
and
about.
they're building houses for these guys, and they're giving it to them.
And what you're affiliated to them?
Well, what we are doing is 5% of our profits goes directly to these guys.
Really?
Yeah.
So 5% of everything you guys bring in is going towards this
5%
organization.
of all the profit that's coming in on every job, an ongoing thing, is going directly to them. And we're also in contact. I'm waiting for a confirmation from the organization that's called Wounded Warriors.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we offered to do the same thing for them.
When people are considering who they're going to use, they're like, it's a fucking fence. Who cares who's building the fence? Not to say that you're going to do a better job than the next guy, but when you get to know the people and the missions behind it, trying to deal as local as possible,
right?
Where your money goes, here you guys got father and son team who are clearly got their stuff together. It's not like you guys are waiting for the next job to pay your rent payment. You guys are here, you're grounded, you're situated. Yeah. So you're able to do things the right way, and desperation's not something that people are going to smell when you come and give them bids.
Absolutely not. And I try to stay as far away as possible from desperate contractors and stuff like that. The reason why is because I don't believe in like already, if you're calling on me, you're going through what we call a crisis. I mean, either your fence is broken down, or you and your family don't feel safe, and you want to put a gate around your property. I mean, I'm not there to feed off of that. I'm there to work with you and give you a solution. So we do that, and we also work with those guys over there. And do I have to do that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I do it because I believe in those causes, and I believe in what these people did for this country. So,
did you serve any military?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you said that in the beginning. I'm sorry, Army.
Yeah,
Canadian Army.
Yeah.
And you said it was what was it? Black something?
Black Watch.
Black Watch. What is that?
It's a regiment. You could look it up. Black Watch Canada. They are the first regiment that went on land in Normandy. There you go.
Is that the emblem?
There. That's the tartan. That's what we're wearing right now. There you go.
So this ties in the whole.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So so 6 years. 6 years. He was still a baby back then.
Okay. Yeah. So no Black Watch for you.
No, not for me.
Get to live vicariously.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we decided, we were talking about it. I said, Adam, do you think this is a good idea? He goes, yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. So we decided to pull the trigger on that.
Thing,
And I got to tell you, I mean, the people that are supplying the fencing for us are locals. They manufacture local. I could mention their names, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the Fence Outlet.
Okay.
So they are here in Melbourne. They've got a few offices, over Florida, but they are excellent at what they do. I mean, there's no shortage of material, which is great for me. They offer me turnkey opportunities, and it's people that are easy to deal with. And this is something that, to me anyways, is super important, is the ease of communication between two businesses. We're both busy on either side. So the easier it is, the better it is for both of us. And they made things easy for us.
With like suppliers and whatnot, do they give you like a line of credit that you get with them, or is it because you're new? It's
Well, for sure. I mean, because you're new, you gotta work your way up to a line of credit. So yeah. So
you just have like that phase where I feel like if I was in the industry, I would just give you a line of credit. Something I probably good. I'm not in the industry, right? I'd probably be broke.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because when I went to transfer my Quebec driver's license to a Florida driver's license, I told the lawyer, I went to get my Florida driver's license, and he's telling me, goes, how the hell did you do that? I go, well, I just walked in there and I told him that I wanted to have a Florida driver's license. He goes, yeah, but usually it takes a year. I go, well, it took me 2 weeks. So he goes, it's got to be your face. Probably.
Nah, you give off of a trusting vibe. Scary, like you wouldn't want to piss you off, but at the same time, it seem like if somebody's honest with you, they're getting honesty back.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is something that I believe in, and it's something that I try to teach my daughter and my son. You're better off being a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
it makes sense.
You know, you could be to be a dangerous man is not bad. It's actually a good thing, but you need to contain that.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking. So it's better to be a gardener. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
Do you guys always get along when you go on jobs? Is
No,
there
absolutely not.
Do you guys?
Oh, no.
Do you guys swear at each other ever?
Oh yeah.
Well, on the job site,
Not
no.
on the job.
I'm not in front of people, but I mean,
Back
like,
home, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you guys don't see eye to eye on,
It's
or is it just random?
It's random.
Everything,
It's
but
pretty
you
random.
get along at the same time. But
you
all
know, we get see. That's the funny thing.
We-
I mean,
we
we could
get-
be at each other's throat.
We get to the same point different ways.
Yeah.
So we'll be screaming at each other during an argument, and then we'll both achieve the same agreement in the end.
And that's when we laugh about the whole thing.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, Adam is like, we're both people that are short-tempered, but I tend to control it a little bit more. He explodes right away,
Is that your belief, Adam?
But then he,
I'm an honest guy, so I
then,
let it go.
But then he contains himself later on, right? So we're gonna be pissed off. We're gonna be, in a heated argument, and the like, it's gonna go and go and go, right? And
But
then
there's no
all of a
grudge.
And
There's
then all of a sudden, I turn around and I hear him whistling on his way to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like,
So you guys don't hold it. You
No,
don't.
not at
you don't.
all.
You don't carry these
that's
grudges
bad.
around.
That's bad. You
Right.
don't want to keep
Yeah.
anything inside.
Just
It's bad.
bust it out when it happens. Get it
Gives-
over
Exactly.
with.
If you
gives
keep
you
it bottled up,
ulcers.
then that's what,
Gives you ulcers, man.
It's like pimples, when they
Yeah.
you got to pop them. And let
like a
all,
hemorrhoid.
let all the point. Okay.
Well, I didn't want.
What does that feel like, Adam?
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead. Describe hemorrhoids for us.
You can't force it too much, right?
Huh. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
go.
just let it go. Then no hemorrhoids.
Just bite your lip and give it help.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. Just push them on the. Yeah. So, do you guys ever go out and give a bid on a job and somebody spouts out the bid too soon, and then when the customer's like,
No, because
"That
we
was
don't.
we underbid them,"
No, see, that's the thing.
you don't give it on the spot,
I never give it on the spot, and the reason why is because I want to make sure that my pricing is right.
right?
And I'm telling you right now, we're never the cheapest ones. We're never the cheapest ones. Never. But I mean, in the end, it is what it is, right?
And probably the customer that's dead set on the cheapest is probably also going to be the biggest pain in the ass.
Always.
That's the one that's complaining the most. They want refunds.
Yeah. And so you okay, so in the years of experience that I've acquired, I kind of know how to feel those clients. And sometimes I'm going to go on a job and I don't even want to quote them.
You just know.
I just know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know what? Like maybe maybe we are not the service for you. Like maybe
especially with the experience that we've had living in Quebec. It's very easy to sniff it out over here now.
And now you've got so many glorified like handymen that.
And the funny thing is that like if it's something that could be done easily, and look, there's only 24 hours in a day, and 6 of them I'm sleeping. Then the rest of the time, take an hour for breakfast, half an hour for lunch, and an hour for dinner. And then there's time that I need to spend with him. Like quality time, family time is important. So during all the day, the working hours that you have are very limited. Why should you waste your time on something that is not worth it? Like, I don't know about you, but I know how much I'm worth. I know how much I'm worth per hour. So if I do the math and I'm thinking, okay, so this door over here, it's going to take me 5 hours to get it ready. Like, am I going to charge him $300 for that? The client is probably going to be able to get a brand new door for $200. Why am I going to screw him by $100? Just to make me feel good?
No, that's it. And we really think about the client's needs also, the customer's needs, and how to make it easier for them also,
I mean, everything is more expensive now. I mean, like for us, it's a blessing to be here because materials is so much cheaper.
Is it? Okay. It's cheaper here.
Well, I mean, price of gas is cheaper here. I'm going to bust everybody's bubble here, but I mean,
isn't it crazy how it's so relative to
It is.
We feel the same way from Palm Beach.
Yeah,
it was so expensive in Palm Beach versus here.
So how much do you guys used to pay for a gallon of gas?
Oh man, at one point, you mean like when it was cheap?
Right.
So my father,
$2.
Yeah, my father owned gas stations my entire life growing up, and I remember as a kid pumping gas for like $1.
Okay. So right now the price of gas is at an average of $4.50 a gallon. Okay. So whoever's watching this podcast right now, just take out a calculator. This is a math over here, and you guys are going to understand why we think that you guys have it good. Are you ready for that one? Okay, so the average price of a gallon of a liter of gas, because we pay by the liter up in Canada, the average price of a liter of gas is $2.20 a liter. Okay, there's 3.8 liters in a gallon. Right?
It's almost $8.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we come here and it's $4.50, we're laughing.
Score.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like every time, like we drove from Montreal to here, and every time we'd stop by a gas station, like, okay, so we're gassing up. Yeah. It's crazy.
You got other people ready to commit suicide over their gas here.
We went for a dinner the other night, and we had, we had steak and shrimps and, margarita and a side and a lettuce, and the lady came with a bill, and it was $88.
Yep.
That would have easily been at least $150 to maybe $200 back in Canada.
Wow.
So it's like, wow, really?
So it's that drastic of a difference.
It is pretty drastic, yeah.
The average price of a house in Canada right now is close to $900,000.
Jeez. For just a common, comparable, single-family house?
Yeah. Yeah. So when people are saying that everything, and I get it, I know that it used to be cheaper.
Right. It's all about your reality. Of course, for everyone over here, it seems like a lot and everything, but coming from Canada, where it's been going up and up and up, for us...
So you're able to sell there and do good with your money.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
And the reason why, the number one reason why, I told you before that, the number one reason why we moved here is because I wanted my kids, my son and my daughter, to have the same opportunities that I had when I was their age. When I was their age, I mean, everything was great. The price of housing was reasonable. The rents were reasonable. The price of gas was 78 cents a liter.
How old are you?
I'm 51.
51.
I'm 51. He's 25. So it comes to a point where you need to look at your wallet and you need to see your worth, but it's also a matter of perspective.
Right.
How are you looking at where do you come from? Like, what's the history behind? And it's true for everything. The way you live, the way you see things, the way you consume things, it's true for everything. My dad always used to tell me, we're not rich enough to buy cheap. And it never made sense to me until I became a father and I realized we're not rich enough to buy cheap. So what do? You go to what we up north, up in Canada, we've got these things called the dollar store, Dollarama. So we would go to the dollar store and buy these cheap flashlights that come from China,
Right.
And you buy one and you keep it for a week and then it breaks and then
Right.
you go and buy another one and then it breaks again and then you go and buy another one. My dad, that's what my dad would
Can't afford to do that
We can't afford to do. We're not rich enough to do
because
that.
it gets expensive.
Right. So just go ahead, go and buy a decent flashlight to begin with, and you're going to keep it longer.
Right.
So that's true for everything. And I realize it. I've realized it a while ago, but it took me a while to understand what my dad was trying to tell me. And I mean,
Isn't it weird how it takes forever for these things to sink in and then all of a sudden the reality sets? I hope, do you know like how lucky you are to have somebody?
Oh yeah, I know that.
So you don't take that for granted
No,
ever?
not at all. Not at all.
and you're right when you say it takes a while for it to sink in. It sinks in when it starts touching your wallet.
Right.
That's when it sinks in. So when people are looking at the cost of fencing, railing, and whatnot, like and we see it often in a couple, like the wife. Okay, so I might
Go ahead. You're going to get all sexist.
I might be misogynist over here, but
I like how he looks at Shelly. Trust me, if anybody can take one on the chin, it's her right there.
So we usually go on a job site, and that's the way it was in Canada, and there's probably a tendency over here too. So the wife decides on what she wants, and the husband goes and pick up the tab. It's the reality of it. So we often go to a place where we go and give a quote according to what the wife wants. And then the estimate comes in.
Right.
The quote comes in. And the husband goes, whoa, that's way over my budget.
He doesn't say that in front of her, though.
No, of course not.
Never.
Of course not. Never.
Coward.
Never.
Where's your balls, men?
Or sometimes, where we see a discrepancy in that is when they're both involved in the financial aspect of the spending of the household, or when you have single moms. So they're going to be looking at it from a whole different perspective. And we got to deal with that.
Right.
I mean, if you tell me that you want to have white fencing, I'm going to quote you white fencing. What I will do, though, on the backside, is that I'm going to pull a quote for a different kind of fencing that's a little bit less money, depending on what your budget is, right? So, yeah, we just try to find a solution, really.
And there's that many different options out there, I imagine.
There's many different options when it comes to material. There's not that many options when it comes to pricing.
The labor.
Right. Because the labor is the same, whether it's wood fencing, vinyl fencing, or
Do you guys do your own labor as well?
We do, but we are hiring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking for people right now.
Yes.
They're looking for people, guys.
We are.
Jobs
Yep.
are in need.
If we receive an application, if we receive a resume, please send us a picture of your calves because you need to look good in a kilt.
Yep.
Is that part of the?
That's top of the list right there.
Got to wear kilts. That's awesome. I got to tell you, I think you guys are going to do well for a couple of reasons. The kilts kill it. The honesty kind of just spews out of you guys. But I think when people look, you're always going to get those idiots that just want, oh, can't you do it for cheaper? Can't you do it for cheaper?
Oh, yeah, for
like you
sure.
said, that's the guy that's buying a dollar store flashlight
Right.
every week.
Yeah.
Move on to the next
Oh,
person.
that's
But
it.
I think if homeowners spent more time saying, all right, we're not just looking for the best. Obviously, we don't want to get raped on the price, so we're looking for somebody that's going to be honest. But what's these people's background? You know, why should we trust them? Are they likely to run off with our money? What kind of area do they live in? Right. You know, these are questions people should be asking, you know, because it tells a lot about somebody that you're going to be giving your money to.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. And us, especially us coming from Quebec, like we know what it's like to be raped pretty much on a daily basis, you know? So we're here and like we want to address that concern, right?
How do you hit that concern like out of the gate? How do you kind of, because everybody thinks like, well, how much are you gonna ding me for? Like, how do you let people know like this is the price? It's not really negotiable.
Yeah. Well, for example, let's say someone wants a certain kind of wood, and just it happened the other time, right?
Yeah. So when you go give a quote, the people tell you, okay, so I'd like to have a wooden fence. Okay, so what type of wood would you want? Well, just a wooden fence. Okay, well, do you want cedar? Do you want cypress? Do you want pressure treated? How long, like how often are you going to take care of your fence? Because cedar turns gray when it's exposed to the sun. So you need to sand it, you need to varnish it every single year.
Oof.
Are you ready for that?
No.
No, I'm not. Okay, so then do you want to go for pressure treated? What's going to happen is pressure treated. You need to understand that it's the wood, it's pine. And what they do is that spruce and pine, and they put it in a cylinder and they pressure a treatment into it. When it dries, a lot of times it has a tendency of splitting. Are you ready for that? No, not really. Okay, so then there's cypress that's left.
Which is cheaper.
Cypress. Cypress is a little bit cheaper, but it's still a high maintenance product. So the least maintenance of these products is pressure treated, but it's going to split.
So what's the I also imagine it has like I guess if I know nothing about your industry, but I'm a sales guy at heart. If the salesman in me, if I were coming in and you were the homeowner, I would probably questions like, what's your intentions with this house? Is this you gonna be here a while? Are you trying to flip this? Are you gonna be renting it out to people that aren't gonna take care of it? Because that probably plays a role on somebody's willingness to what they're gonna put into what's gonna be in their yard.
But you know what? Before you even go there, when I go give a quote, what I do is that I get there beforehand and I drive around in the neighborhood. I see what type of houses are in the neighborhood. So are we in a neighborhood where the cost of housing is lower than average? What type of fencing do they have? Do the neighbors take care of their fences? Because sometimes you're going to have like vinyl fencing everywhere, but it's covered in green mold.
I hate vinyl fencing.
You know, they don't take care of it, right? So and then you're going to have chainmail. You're going to have iron. Iron is another possibility. But then again, you have to maintain it because then it corrodes, it gets rusty.
Yeah.
So I like to go in the neighborhoods and take a look to see what's around. And also, the house that we're going to go give a quote to, does it have shutters? What color are the shutters? Because a lot of times you want to have your fencing to match your shutters. It's just like a man that's well dressed. He's going to have to want the shoes to match the belt, or vice versa.
Right.
There you go. So
she dresses me too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So all of this.
She said not today.
Shots fired.
Oh, man. Shots fired.
So all of this plays a role in how you're going to quote, how you're going to approach that. You know, what kind of car in the driveways? You know, like all of this. Like you got like, there's a lot more to giving a quote than just going and do a takeoff and write a number on a piece of paper.
Right. There's
a whole. And like you said, you're a salesman at heart, so there's a whole lot of stuff that you need to look at, So this is what we're confronted with, because you've got a lot of those guys that go out and they give quotes, and they're just like spewing out numbers, all of that because they want to make a living at the end of the week. I mean, well, that's not running a business. That's just doing charity work, really.
And then if they're quoting too low, you're probably getting shoddy work. At the same time, I potentially.
Look, I can't judge on other people's work, but a lot of times that's what happens, And then you have a guy that goes and give a quote, and we're being looked at like, well, the last guy that came didn't quote me that high. Yeah, well, you know. If you go and get a tattoo, are you going to go to the cheapest tattoo artist?
I was just going to ask you
not.
that question. Do you use the lesson your father taught you that you can't afford to buy cheap?
Oh yeah.
Because that really, I think that would probably resonate with anybody. And I think that's the key to sales, right? Is finding something to connect with somebody so they don't feel, if you can make it make sense to them, they're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't need to know where the fuck you're buying your wood from. That's no longer my concern. But you're right. If I keep buying the cheapest shit every year, I'm spending several $100s repairing.
Exactly.
I'd rather have something that's going to last me 10, 15 years that I might have to maintain here and there.
So what I like to do is when I go and give a quote, because a lot of times you're going to hear, oh, well, words disappear and whatever's written on a piece of paper will stay. So what I like to do when I go and give a quote, I ask the potential client if I could record the conversation. And then when I send them their quotes by email,
You send it with the audio file.
I send them with the audio file.
I like that.
So they will receive the quote, and then they're going to receive all of the explanation, what was going on during our conversation, what was said, what was exchanged. So they can't say, well, you told me that. And, well, is it on the recording? If it is, then it's on me.
Right.
You know, the other thing also is when I go and give a quote, I like to educate people on what's going to be happening. Give an example. I went to give a quote the other day, and the backyard, there was a slope going down onto a creek, like a little river. So there's a guy that went there and gave him a quote, and the quote that he gave them, the fence in the back of the yard was right at the edge of that slope. And so I told the homeowner, I go, look, I can't do that. And here's why. If I put a post over here with the hurricane winds and everything, your fence is going to be buckling, and eventually it's going to be pulled off the ground. Why? Because there's nothing to hold it there. If you want me to put the fence at the edge of your land, I'm going to have to come here with a backhoe. I'm going to have to dig the ditch, build a retaining wall, and then we're going to be able to put your fence over there. So that's not, I mean, it's doable, but financially it doesn't make any sense.
And they've probably got this contradiction in their mind of what they were quoted, and now your quote's significantly more because it's being done the right way. So,
Exactly.
So now they're challenged with, wow, that's a lot more than what the other guy was at.
Well, they were not challenged enough because I didn't get the job, but that's fine because we also repair fences.
I was going to ask, do you when it breaks, call me. Do you guys also do you offer like, hey, we're going to put up your fence, and we also offer like warranties on these fences or maintenance packages on the fences?
Every time we install and that's the great thing about the fence outlet is that every time we install one of their fences, it comes with a lifetime warranty.
Wow, lifetime warranty. That's on wood fences too.
Not wood fences.
Okay, so chain link. Do they
or vinyl?
Or vinyl? Do they only do metal and vinyl?
They do metal, vinyl, a little bit of wood, but they're not. I mean, wood is not their forte. But what's great about the vinyl fencing that they offer is that it's manufactured over here in Melbourne.
Okay. Oh, really? So it's local.
It's local.
See, this stuff needs to get out there more.
It is, and the funny thing is, people don't know that. I mean, people are starting to know about all that, but no, everything that comes out of every vinyl fencing that comes out of the fence outlet is manufactured right here in Melbourne. So the good thing is, if you build a fence, and 5 years down the line, you want to extend your backyard because you bought a piece of land, and we could just buy sections, and we're going to be able to extend it. You don't have to replace because they keep on manufacturing the same stuff.
I was just going to add, so they don't, it's not like, hey, that's the old style fence.
No.
We don't carry that no more. But for an upcharge, we can.
No.
So you get the same fence. Do you guys do more of the metal and vinyl fences?
We do more vinyl.
More than wood?
Yeah.
What's easier for you?
For me, what's easier?
Labor-wise, what's less labor-intensive, wood or vinyl?
For sure, if you're looking at the labor aspect of it.
Vinyl's probably a lot lighter.
Yeah, but I mean, wood comes in sections, pre-assembled sections, right?
Is vinyl like, is it one piece?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
all tongue and groove. So
Really?
It's all tongue and groove. So, but I mean, it's just like Lego blocks. Like it just snaps into place. It's super easy to put together.
I have lots of experience with Lego blocks, so
Yeah, there you go. You know,
And
but-
you got lots of experience stepping on them. Probably.
yeah.
yeah, but I had Lego blocks too. Hey, I'm only 51. Man. I played with Lego blocks.
It wasn't like Lincoln Logs.
It was those big ones.
Lincoln Logs. but no, I mean, see, but if you're thinking of me like labor intensiveness, I would say wood is probably easier. But I mean, if I'm looking at the whole aspect of it, in the sense that I'm putting myself in the homeowner's shoes right now, and I'm thinking, if I'm putting a fence, do I want to paint it every year? Probably not, unless I have kids and they could do it.
So all wooden fences are going to require a yearly maintenance to keep them.
Yeah,
Really?
especially here because the hot sun, daily rain, hurricane winds. Yeah,
Man, you know, I'm that homeowner. Years ago when I bought a house, it didn't have a fence in the backyard, and we had dogs and stuff, so we wanted to put up a privacy fence. And I was like, I can do this myself. So I went and rented like an auger and all. By the time the fence was done, it was the most jacked. Like we ended up having to hire somebody to come in, and I'm like, there's no way. I went to work, came back, and the thing was like perfect. It's like, fuck. It really is a skill like that people develop over time on. It's not something that I'm one of those people that was like, I was hard-headed. I don't need to pay somebody. I can do it myself.
right.
Do you get a lot of jobs where you're coming in to fix a homeowner's mistake where they thought they could kind of do it, and it's like, oh man, well, what's it gonna, just whatever it's going to cost me, I just want it done.
We've had some jobs like that where the homeowner started something and didn't finish it, and then the wife got fed up and she just called us.
But that's an easy sales pitch, right? Because at this point, they just want it done.
Yeah. It's like, just tell me how much it costs and just get it done.
It's actually a lot easier to sell at that point.
I would imagine because you're at somebody's hit like they're mentally just
had it.
broken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've had it.
Those are our clients.
You know,
There you
like
go.
the guy is probably like in a ball crying his life away, and you know
That should be your next commercial.
sipping on a bottle of whiskey, saying,
Catering
"I
to the
should."
wife. Did your husband attempt to put up a fence today? It doesn't look something like this.
There you go.
Call us and we'll straighten it out.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
You know,
Yeah.
You're like the fence dentist.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you guys got to look, a really cool gig going on, and the area, the people I already see. You just threw up. How new is your Facebook page?
It's actually
Because you've already got comments on there.
yeah.
Relatively new. It's really
Facebook
new.
actually, Cynthia took care of the face. She overhauled the entire thing because I'm not tech savvy at all. I mean, you know, like if I had a rotary dial on my cell phone, I would probably get that.
And even me, for a 25-year-old,
Shelly.
I'm not very big on tech either.
All right, so on your Facebook, because I feel like this is going to be a big area that, because you guys live in Melbourne. I invited you to one of the Melbourne groups.
Yeah.
These are all the people that live here that live in these groups.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people, and you're going to get us some pictures and stuff. You said you had some pictures of some jobs that completed.
Actually, there if you go on the Facebook page, you're gonna see there's a post there.
Where? Oh, down.
Yeah.
Keep going. Was that one of your? I'm just kidding.
That's like from humble beginning. That's
And what is that, by the way? What is this picture we're looking at right here?
We're looking at my desk, my working area.
Is this so? Is this out of where is this at? Is this here in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually it's. I mean, you know, a construction company could be ran from the back of a pickup truck.
There they are. There's the kilts. There's the kilts in
There you
action.
go.
So there we go. There's the calf model.
Look at the tree over there. That's pretty interesting.
This tree right here?
That tree is pretty amazing. It's actually it's a tree that's growing around a palm tree.
Oh wow, where's this at?
That's right in front of our office. Actually, it's
Where's your guys' office at?
yeah. So our office is located at 2412 Irwin Street.
It's a really cool
Melbourne.
place.
It's a place called Groundswell. So it's basically shared offices, and in that building, we've got people that do web design. We've got accountants. We've got people that work on freaking like
So that's where
space age technology and shit. You know, it's pretty awesome.
do clients come there?
No,
Okay.
no. This is just like okay. So this is the thing. So in order for us to have our E2 visas, we need to have a working place. We need to have an office. So we were looking at, renting a building and this and that, and we're thinking, well, we don't really need a warehouse. We don't need this big corporate office. We just need a desk where we could plant a laptop and work from. And so we found this place, which is pretty awesome. Those offices are inside an old skate park. So when you walk in there, there's all tags and graffitis on the wall.
Oh, super cool.
Oh, yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
Beer on tap.
Yeah.
Beer on tap.
Yeah.
Free beer, free coffee, free snacks, free
in
Friday.
the building.
Yeah.
Is it like Regis? You ever heard of Regis?
It's pretty much the same thing. We were lucky enough to find this place, and the people that are in the office also, like the other businesses that are there, are pretty awesome. Like
this is one of those places that comes with like the desk and everything's already in there.
Yeah.
And the internet's included. You just pay the monthly rent.
Everything.
Yeah.
We have access to that place 24/7.
Very cool.
Yep.
So no, it's pretty. It's
beer
really
on tap. I'm in.
Yeah, free beer, man.
Free
Imagine
beer.
that.
Oh yeah.
Beer.
Free beer,
yeah.
free snacks.
What kind of beer?
It's local breweries.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Melbourne's all about keeping it local.
I'm telling you, man.
You
I
know?
love it here.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that everything is so, like, when you talk about businesses and stuff like that, everything is close-knit. Like, everybody's here.
It's like family.
It feels as if everybody's here to help out everybody.
People think we're crazy. They're like, they don't understand the concept. They're like, because we don't charge people to come on and brag about their businesses. I feel like however this thing is going to make money, it'll figure out a way in the future to monetize itself in some way.
Right.
But right now, it's isn't it fun to sit here and bullshit with a glass of whiskey talking about why people should use you guys to build a fence or some rails?
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I was surprised when Cynthia told me to go, yeah, there's this guy that has this podcast. And I'm thinking, all right.
I mean, I watch a lot of Joe Rogan, so
That's kind of my idol a little bit. I'm trying to do like the Joe
I get
Rogan.
that feeling. Feeling.
I love your son already.
Man.
This guy.
Yeah. So
The red beard. He's got the red beard going on.
yeah.
We kind of shoved you back in the corner like the redheaded stepchild. I apologize.
Whoa,
I didn't have anywhere to put you.
No, but I mean, no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The fact that you decided to have us over, because I think I'm thinking, I go, yeah, like, who's gonna want to hear a story? But the more I talk about it, like,
The people got stories, man.
Our story's freaking awesome, right?
It really is. It really is. And I think it's going to resonate. It's brand new what we're doing, so we don't have a whole lot of followers. But a year from now, when we're, Joe Rogan size, bringing everybody back on, because that's the whole goal here is people that, look, it's when you're big time, if I had 1 million subscribers, people would be begging to come on.
Right.
But people right now, it's like, it's like 3 people are going to see this. I'm wasting my time.
It's fun though.
In the future, though, you're the person that I appreciate because you're doing this for this much for me as it is for you.
But you know what? I got to tell you this. I mean, when you say there's 3 people that are going to watch this.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4. Hold on a second.
And Cynthia's going to watch.
Cynthia's going to watch. I've got 2 friends in Canada that are going to watch.
There we go. Oh, Canadians.
But see, that's the thing. I mean, you could once this podcast is released, what are we going to do with it?
That's the $1 million question.
That's a $1 million question, right?
It will be released tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do with it?
I'm
going to take it and run, man.
Run with it.
Share it with as many people as I can.
Yeah, that's the goal, brother. That's the it's putting the word out there because people are going to want to. Somebody is going to need something, and Cynthia will probably refer them. But Cynthia's going to be like, hey, you guys need a fence. I get it. Anybody can go build your fence, but take a look at these guys. Here's an interview they did. Get to know their story a little bit.
Yeah.
And people are going to realize that the comfort factor of dealing with somebody that's got their shit together, as much as it is about price, it's also about not worrying about, are they going to show up the next day? I gave them a deposit. Are they going to come back? It's like that peace of mind. You can't really put a price on that.
No, that's right.
And I think that's kind of what you guys, I'm not for hire, by the way. So
no,
I can't do your sales for you or anything.
The check's in the mail. No, but I mean, and also, and I'm gonna come back with that. Like there's money that's been given to charities that we've talked about before, like Tunnels to Towers and Wounded Warrior and all that. And the other thing is, I mean, what we are like. That's why, like, we're in the process of negotiating that with these 2 organisms, with is to have a link on our website where our clients could choose if they want to give on their own or not.
Right.
I mean, it's all about awareness, really, and it's about helping someone else that's in need, and that's what we're all about. I mean, if I go and see a client and the client is like, we're there to do fencing or railing or whatever, and she needs to have a painter. I know painters. I could hook them up.
It's the referral list.
It's everybody is there to help you. And how often did it happen that I went on a job site and I referred them to the competition?
Right.
Because I knew that type of job,
better suited.
He was better than me at it. So why would I go there and, like, if you have roofing to do on your house, are you going to hire a carpenter? No. You're going to hire a roofing team, right?
Right.
Same thing for us.
But it takes a lot to get to the point where you're at mentally, and again, that's all the more reason why people will probably end up dealing with you in the end is simply going to be because of these types of things. That's going to get around. That word of mouth of Dan sent me to this guy, Dan sent me to that guy. I called Dan and he said, hey, I could do it, but this guy is going to do a much better job.
Right.
The guy that's desperate for the next paycheck is just going to say he can do it, and he's going to do his shitty job because he needs the money.
And that's it. And it all goes back to the whole fact where, we're out for the client, and we know what it's like to be raped, right? So it all goes back to that.
Yeah.
I think so one of the cool things that we like to try to do here, I'll put you on the spot. I usually prep you on this. I forgot. Okay. So anybody that finds you through the podcast, is there any kind of a deal, a discount, anything you want to throw out there to them if they say, hey, I found you on Dan's podcast and I need a new fence?
That's a good question.
I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah.
You're the president.
Yeah,
so.
Screw you. I didn't think about that, really.
Do you guys charge for consultations?
No, we don't.
Okay, so I was going to say
we always
free consultation.
It's always free. It's always free consultations. I mean, you know what? If people come to us and they say, we saw you on the podcast, we'll give them 5% discount.
Okay, so there you go, 5% off if you mention this.
That's the deal.
So 5% off. There's 5% that goes to Wounded Warrior or Tunnels to Tower, depending on. So the client gets to choose who they want.
Or they can just say, give the whole. I don't want the 5% off. I want to donate it to Wounded Warriors.
We could do that too.
Okay.
We could do that too. I mean, in the end, like that 5%. I mean, it's their money. They could do whatever they want with it.
What's the best way for people to find you guys, right? If somebody wanted to reach out to you and
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Facebook. We've got a web page. We've got a website. It's under construction right now, so it goes onto a landing page.
I saw it, yeah.
But the one place that you could
Facebook.
get a hold of would be Facebook.
So we'll put that. We'll insert that at this point, guys, and we'll drop it in the link and everywhere for everybody to find it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you both for coming out here and sharing your story. And, look, the job is one thing. What you guys are doing is cool, but your story is, I think, what's going to make you guys. Everybody's got a story, but not everybody's willing to share their story.
There's something. Thank you for that. And there's something that I'm. Hopefully, I'll get to the point where there's a company up in Canada that's the fastest decking company in the country. And they do zero publicity, nothing at all. It's all word of mouth. They started off, I can't remember what year exactly, with one office, and they have 65 franchisees right now.
Wow.
Right?
Is that your goal?
That's my goal. My goal is to be across the entire state of Florida.
Deck my rails across Florida.
Yeah. So,
did I say it right?
So,
rail my deck.
Rail my deck, yeah. So, to tell you a little bit of a story of how they do it, this is the important thing. This is the cool shit that they're doing. So they go and they sell decks. They sell composite decking and whatnot, right? So every job that they do, with the permission of the homeowner, they have a garden party and they invite the neighbors over. So they have catering service that goes there. And once everything, so they're gonna come in. Once the job is done, they're going to stage your backyard, and they're going to invite the neighbors over.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay? So what they do is that every single time that they do one of those events, you know what it is. You want to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Right.
So the neighbors,
Yeah.
they all want to have decks now.
They want a deck party.
Right. So they want to have a bigger deck than the neighbors. They want to have it better. They want to. So on every single job that they do, they have a pool, like a backyard party like that, and they sign like 4 or 5 jobs every time.
Man, so they're just kind of getting all these people together.
Right. So they offer catering.
What a great idea.
So they offer catering. They're going to stage your backyard. And once everything is done, there's a cleaning crew that comes. They take care of everything. So your backyard is back to normal afterwards.
So they take care of everything.
Right. But you just have a christening on your deck.
They're like part-time event planners.
There you go.
You know, we'll have to bring you because we're going to be doing a grand opening. And you saw the parking lot. It's it's a pretty big parking lot. And the other people that rent office, there's a guy downstairs that does teeth whitening and another guy in the back that does professional medical massages. We're going to, on a weekend, we're going to do a grand opening because they're not here on the weekend. We're going to put some tents out and have food and vendors. You know, maybe you guys come be part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's mostly going to be businesses and homeowners that are going to be coming to check these things out. And that's kind of, it's kind of your...
We could bring the smoker and have some brisket.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, why not? Of course.
I'm a smoking fool.
There you go. We'll bring it.
Yeah. I smoke and I smoke.
Same.
But okay, I knew it. I knew it.
I was actually thinking, okay, so we're going to have whiskey over there. Should I bring cigars?
Oh man,
I wouldn't have said no. Yeah, next time. Next time.
Yeah, next time. For sure next time.
Yeah.
There's going to be a next time.
We got to do this again.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, look, you guys set your own, when you want to come back, you let me know you want to come back. We'll post up the first one, see if people don't hate you after I edit it, and
yeah, we got to take a few words out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, just one.
Yeah, yours. I got the card though.
Yeah, we'll leave him. He's got the
good.
card. But we might need to see your birth certificate or something. But cool. Look, I really appreciate it, guys. This is going to be fun. We're going to share this with the community, and even if you don't get any business out of it, it's what you guys are doing is really cool. You're not out to hurt people. You've been through there. You've hit some hard patches. You served a country, not our country. But
hey, you know what? And that's a cool
smaller
thing.
brother.
That's the cool. Well, actually, you know what?
We're all in cahoots.
If you're looking at the geography of all that, like, so if we'd be in prison, the U.S. would be Canada's bitch because we're on top and we're bigger. So, but that's
this might be the funnest interview of 2022. Well, Dan, I appreciate you coming out. Dan,
thank you very much, man.
Adam, thank you very much, my brother.
Man.
All right, guys, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Awesome, for sure.